Hey guys, it's AJRBHA here, bringing you a new video. So the great folks over at Sofabaton sent me over another one of their awesome new remotes to show you guys. Now this is supposed to be an update to their X1 remote, which we did a review on it not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago. This is the all-new X1S remote. And the interesting thing about it is, I don't really notice any difference. In fact, if you look on Amazon's website, right up here, you can see the price of the X1 versus the X1S is only $1 difference. That's ridiculous. Nonetheless, I told the guys over at Sofabaton I would do a full review of this new remote just to see what we get. Without further ado, let's dive right in. So as we kind of already talked about, you can pick this thing up on Sofabaton's Amazon storefront for roughly 170 bucks, give or take if you want the X1 or the X1S. Obviously, this video is about the X1S, and you can check out the previous video for the X1 remote in the link up in the corner. There's only $1 difference. Not exactly sure what all of the capabilities are versus the older remote, but it supports Bluetooth, it supports infrared, it supports Wi-Fi. Supposedly it has an open API, yet I have not been able to get it to fully work with Home Assistant. I have found in some of the forums that it will work with the emulated Roku integration in Home Assistant, which have basically tricked the remote into thinking it's controlling a Roku. But that would give you the ability to take those button presses and control devices in Home Assistant. I'm not going to show that in this particular video, but if that's something you're interested in, please let me know in the comments, and we can do a follow-up video utilizing the emulated Roku integration. But if you're looking for a remote that can pretty much do away with all of your other remotes combined, something similar to a Logitech Harmony remote, which, you know, Logitech Harmony remotes no longer exist, this thing will hopefully take care of that void. We got infrared, we got Wi-Fi, we got Bluetooth. This thing looks pretty awesome. Let's get started. So here we are in the box for the X1S. I'm not sure if you saw the video on the X1, which is going to be in the corner up there, but this pretty much looks identical to the X1. So nothing really different here. It's got some of the main specs listed on the side of the box there, but if we get the lid off here, right there on top we got the instructions for getting this thing set up. And here is the remote itself. Now the specs say that this thing will run for 45 days on a single charge. So basically before you need to recharge it. So it's got the screen there at the top that will list out the devices that you can control and stuff. And then all the buttons below that. It really has a nice feel to it. This remote is pretty lightweight. I really like the design. We got another sheet here talking about setup instructions as well. Not sure what that is. Let's see, we got 2 IR cables for devices that you might have maybe in cabinets. So you can run those cables right there to the device and still be able to control them from the hub. We also have 2 USB cables as well. One for charging the remote and another one for powering the hub. It comes with 1 USB brick. Which again will be used for powering that hub. And then lastly, we got the hub itself. Now remember, this supports infrared, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi, though the Wi-Fi is limited to only certain devices. Now, we will be using the Sofabaton app for getting everything set up, which makes it super easy to do. This has the same design as the X1, so nothing really different there at all. That's everything that comes in the box itself. I did ask them what are the differences or updates to the X1 series remote, apparently, from the X1 to the X1S. There's not a whole lot of differences, mainly a few software updates. I do want to note that on the box, The X1 remote says it gets 60 days of usage on a single battery charge, whereas the X1S says it only gets 45 days. So a little bit of a difference there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step, and we'll get this thing set up in the Sofabaton app. So here we are in the Sofabaton app, and it's super easy to get devices added into the app. So we're going to click on X series here, and then we want to click on Setup New Hub, since this is going to be a new install. And if you haven't already, it wants you to go ahead and plug in the hub. We've already done that. Once you have it powered on, then it wants you to hold the button down on the back of the hub for 3 seconds. And you should start seeing the blue light on the front start blinking when it's ready. Now we can hit next, and it's going to be in Bluetooth pairing mode. And boom, now we see the hub. So we can select that and just need to type in the Wi-Fi information that we want it to connect to. You should see your wireless SSID listed there, but if your Wi-Fi is hidden, then of course you can select Join Other Network down at the bottom there and put in the credentials that way. Once we have the Wi-Fi information in there, it will start provisioning. And done. We have added it, and we can now select the X1S hub, which is our new hub that we just added. First thing I'm going to do is change the name. So I'm going to call it Living Room X1S because that's going to be its location. And it looks like we have some updates to perform, so I'm going to kind of skip through those. I'm going to show all that, but we now have the X1S added into the Sofabaton app. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step, and I'll go through getting a device added to the remote so that we can control it. So we are ready to add devices to the Sofabaton app that we can control from the remote. And remember, you're basically controlling them from the hub, so we can even control these devices from the Sofabaton app, and it will just send the commands to the hub itself. So we're going to hit the plus in the top corner there, and we want to choose what type of device we want to add. So there are 3 options. There are infrared, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. Now if you are adding Wi-Fi devices, there are only 3 options currently. So you have Roku, Philips Hue, and Sonos. But we're going to be adding an Apple TV, so this is a Bluetooth device. So we're going to choose Bluetooth here, and then we can select Apple from the list of supported devices. And you have the option to change the name if you want to, give it a more specific name, as well as the icon. So there's not a lot of icons to choose from, but the Apple logo is one of them. We'll give it a little bit to download the available commands for the Apple TV. At this point, it has downloaded everything, and we now need to pair the X1S remote with the Apple TV. And it gives you a set of generic instructions, but basically if we go into Bluetooth section of the settings on our Apple TV, then we can search for the Sofabaton remote. And you can see here I already have mine added, but this is where we would do that. Once you do that, then you have successfully added a device to be controlled in the Sofabaton app. Let's go ahead and move on to the next section and go over the config options in the app. Here we are in the Sofabaton app again, and let's see what our various options are. I'm on the device screen here, and with the recently added Apple TV that we just did in the previous section. And if we click on that, you can see we basically have full control of the Apple TV right from the app. We don't even need the remote. If you need to type numbers for a channel, you can hit the numbers in the bottom corner there, or for devices that have more buttons that you can use, then you have options down there as well. If we hit the edit up in the top corner, this is where we can change the name if we wanted to, or that icon. We have the ability to repair any commands that aren't working or assign different keys that maybe didn't get programmed as part of the initial setup. This Apple TV remote does not have a power button, so not much we can do there with the power settings. My TV does the auto switch on HDMI devices, so I don't need to change the input or anything, so that's good there as well. And if you're having any issues at all with the pairing of the remote, you can do a repair of the remote here to the Apple TV if you needed to. But if we back out of this, on the activities page, we can set up activities that will allow me to control multiple devices at the same time, meaning some buttons would work for the Apple TV, but maybe you wanted volume control to be controlling a sound bar or something like that. So you can set up activities that would allow you to basically map all the buttons to various devices as you needed to. If we go over to the profile settings here, this is where we can go to the settings for the actual hub remote system. So this is where we can change the name of the hub if we wanted to. We can sync the remote if we're having any issues, to sync the remote with the hub to make sure it's got the latest information that we have configured. My favorite features on this remote is the Find My Remote. So my kids are always losing the remote, whether they're shoving it in the couch and they can't find it, or they've carried it off to a room somewhere and forgotten where they've carried it. Now you can go in the app, you push this button here, and the remote will start making a sound letting you find it. So that's pretty cool. I like that. And basically it will continue to make that sound until you pick up the remote and actually push a button on it. Then of course we can see the version info for the hub and remote, as well as check for firmware updates. But that's about it for the features in the Sofabaton app for this remote. Let's go ahead and move on to the last step, and I will give you my final thoughts. Alright, so my final thoughts. I mean, like I kind of already said, when you're looking at the X1 versus the X1S on Amazon, I mean, they're only $1 difference in price. So, I mean, if you wanted to get the latest version of the remote, paying the extra $1 is probably not that big of a deal. When you consider the battery life, I know that the X1 says 60 days on a full charge and the X1S says 45 days on a full charge. I'm not sure that that really matters. Again, that's just an estimate, and it's going to be based on how much you're using the remote. If you watch a lot of TV every day, you're probably not going to get that much out of the battery life. The way I figure it is, if you're only having to plug this thing in once a month, and I'm talking about plugging in overnight, like when you go to sleep, plug it in, this thing will be fully charged by the next time you use it. I'd say that's doing pretty good. But if you're looking for a all-in-one remote that can kind of replace all of your other remotes, similar to what the Logitech Harmony used to be, this thing's pretty awesome. I love the Find My Remote feature, the fact that you can push a button in the app and be able to find the remote wherever it is. I love the fact that you don't have to have software installed on your computer to control it. Everything can be done from within the app, which makes it super easy to do. I'll have links to Sofabaton's website as well as our Amazon storefront in the description below. Head over there, take a look at these remotes for yourself. I want to thank everybody for donating to my Buy Me a Coffee link. Every little bit helps. If you haven't had a chance, head over to my spring merchandise page and check out all of the Burns home automation merchandise. If you're looking for the latest smart home gear, you're going to want to check out SMOnet. I'll have a link in the description below. Head over there and see what deals they currently have running. And if you're looking for the latest smart window treatment, you're going to want to check out Smartwings. I'll have a link in the description below for them as well. Head over there and see what deals they currently have running. And if you're looking for SIM cards for all of your smart devices, you're going to want to check out Eat Club. I'll have a link in the description below for Eat Club's website. Head over there and see what deals they currently have. If you're interested in buying and selling stock or maybe cryptocurrency, you're going to want to check out Robinhood. I'll have a link in the description below. If you sign up with that link, you and I both will get a free share of stock. It's a win-win for both of us. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments below. As always, if there are any videos out there that you want to see that I don't already have out there, let me know in the comments as well, and I'll see if I can't get something put together for you guys. Otherwise, I'll see you guys around.